There's a very interesting chapter we've just gone through. We have to discuss it. I'm going to render some opinions, but really the whole purpose is I want to hear from you. Crystal wants to hear from you. We want to hear what you think about this whole scene of the battle between Guts and our friend, now Sir Lancelot for sure. I want to start though by going back a little bit, just a little bit, to when Serpico, Lancelot, gets knighted as Sir Lancelot by none other than Farnice's mother, the true queen of Midland. And she basically takes him aside and says, hey, you got to look after my daughter. Now, she has no idea who Lancelot is. She just sees him as Farnice's protector and wants him to remain that way. And so she sort of knights him. Now, not with a sword, little tap here and there, but in Lancelot's mind, he's just been changed dramatically. He is now Sir Lancelot, the ultimate protector of Farnice, and he will go far and wide to do so. Not that he wouldn't have before, but now he's been knighted. The battle has to come between Guts and Serpico. It's been brewing for a while, and you'll recall way back when Serpico challenged him, but he challenged him on that ledge, that mountain ledge where Guts could not be Guts. And Serpico could be Guts because Serpico's right-handed. He was on the left side. He could do his thing. Was it enough to defeat Guts? No. Did he ever have a chance? No. But what about Serpico, Sir Lancelot now, can we say of his swordsmanship? I think he is mastered by none but Guts. And if you don't mind me jumping way back, something that Crystal pointed out, she said, this is not, the battle between Guts and Sir Lancelot is not that dissimilar to the one that occurred way back when from He Whose Name Must Be Forgotten and Guts. When Beth came to the conclusion that there's no way he really could defeat Guts.
And then he started having that inner monologue.
Yes.
Of like ways he could disarm him and how he'd have to do it. And then you see Sir Lancelot doing the exact same thing, trying to figure out Guts. But then we never see Guts' inner monologue.
And how would you say it worked for?
It didn't work for either.
It didn't work for either one. No, because Guts is indomitable.
Yeah.
As a kid, as an adult, as a berserker armored person, as a non-berserker armored person, there's no one greater than Guts.
I will say, Serpico himself, he's a really good tactician.
Yeah.
But I feel like no one gives Guts credit for also being a really good tactician. Like certain things that he does, it's like he is thinking these things through. Even if they're instinct, it's because he's honed his instincts by thinking like, well, that didn't work last time. I'm going to try this. And through that, he's become battle savvy. Like even if we jump way ahead from where we are right now, he lets that big elephant-esque monster push him into a wall just so that he can climb the stairs easier and then stab him through the head. But like, you think, oh, he's just, what is he doing? He doesn't know. He knows what he's doing. He's planning ahead, but he just doesn't need to like think it through as deeply.
You had an interesting point that you made that throughout the whole book, we don't hear an internal dialogue going on with Guts.
Yeah, no.
And I think I know why now. His internal dialogue is so deep, even the author didn't know what was going on in his head.
The only time I feel like where we hear Guts like stake a claim in something or like have an internal monologue where he's like declaring something is when it comes to Casca. It's like, I'm not going to lose her again. Like, I won't let her go. Like, I won't mess up. Like, those kind of things.
We already know that internal dialogue.
Yeah.
He is madly in love with Casca. Nothing's going to ever change that.
Yeah.
I hope not.
He would never.
It keeps me up at night wondering, will she ever come out of it?
I think so.
Oh, that the medicine man, Crazy Cat, will be able to heal her. It's my true hope in life. Anyway, so a battle is going to go on between Serpico and Guts. And I guess you could say, maybe you can say Sir Lancelot started it.
With his advantage.
To his advantage, but it still begs the question of why. Now, we've discussed it, and his whole goal in life is, of course, to protect Farnice. And traveling with Guts is a dangerous thing to do. Mm-hmm. Traveling with her suitor may be less dangerous. Now, I don't think that's a wise conclusion on the part of Sir Lancelot. There's no one safer to travel with than Guts.
But also no one more dangerous to travel with.
I know, you're going to encounter all sorts of problems. She, Farnese, could probably sail off with, what's his name?
Roderick.
Roderick, yeah, Sir Gregory.
Call him Rodney Stefan.
Yes, it's Rodney, not... I wonder how he got his sir. Anyway, we have to decide what Serpico is doing, because it sounds kind of crazy. Hey, Guts, I challenge you to a battle of swords. Why is that he said that? Why is that he said a battle of swords? Because Serpico maybe knows better than anyone just what an honorable man Guts is. If you say swords, he's not going to blow you up with his dynamite missiles.
Mm-hmm. Or his berserker armor.
Or his berserker armor. That just wouldn't be fair. No one could stand that. Oh, that he would use his berserker. Well, anyway. Femto keeps coming into my haunted memories. Anyway, he picks the time and place, which is down in the basement where all the pillars that support the structures above are.
It's like a coliseum.
It's the perfect place to fight Guts.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has all that protection. I'm not certain that Sir Lancelot knew that Guts would turn those reinforced, as he said, columns into rubble. But nothing stops Guts' sword. And as the battle ensues, you see Serpico's mind going, what am I into? What is going to happen? I'm doomed. You know he's thinking that. Even though Serpico is a very fine lad, he knows of his abilities, but he's up against Guts.
Yeah.
He knows it. And eventually all those columns will fall, and either the building will fall on them the way it did on Samson, or Guts is going to have to hold back. And I think it's fair to say Guts holds back, because there is no other place to run for Sir Lancelot. And yet, Sir Lancelot is still alive, isn't he?
Do you feel like Guts held back in a patronizing way?
No, not in a patronizing way. He said to Shyster Boy, he said, I was going at him full steam ahead. And I think he was. Minus the Berserker armor. And minus, if you will...
Intent to kill?
Intent to kill. Perfect expression. Because his intent was to win, not to kill.
Yeah, just to like disarm him.
Because he doesn't want to lose Serpico.
No, he likes
Why
him.
would you want to lose the second best sword in all of the vast countryside?
Yeah, that's true.
Guts is definitely the best sword in all the world. And I'm ready to give that title number 2 to Serpico. But we can't do that yet.
Something I will say about Serpico, like something that I feel, is that he's a good swordsman, but a better tactician. The way he thinks things through, I know you don't know who this is, but he reminds me of Shikamaru.
Shikamaru?
Shikamaru. Yeah, from Naruto, who is like the Hidden Leaf's tactician. He just like saw the game from all angles and sides and was just able to be 10 moves ahead of everyone.
Oh, yes.
And I feel like that's Serpico. Like he's always 10 moves ahead of everyone else. And I think that that's more so his power than just his swordsmanship. Yeah. I think he's good with a sword, but I think he's good with a sword because he's always planning everyone's move so that he can kind of be like the sly little fox that he is.
He's the Bobby Fischer of swordsmanship. Do you know who Bobby Fischer is?
No, I only know Derek Fisher.
Bobby Fischer was one of, if not the greatest chess player of all time. And he was not 10 steps ahead. He was 20 or 30 moves ahead. So, Serpico is spared because the column that is the last one to protect him is brought down by Guts, and it falls on top of Serpico. And there is this communal sigh of, oh, no, is Serpico gone? They should have been grateful that those rocks fell on his head, because that's what allowed Guts to say, I won. Don't have to kill him. Never wanted to kill him. Had to defeat him.
But Guts knew that that was going to fall on his head. He planned that to happen.
I think Guts did plan it to happen. Even though he said, no, I went at him tooth and claw. I was going to kill... No.
Yeah, I feel like Shyster Boy called it immediately. He's like, they're just going to posture.
Yeah.
Serpico might really try to kill Guts because he has to survive, but he knows he's not going to.
And he wouldn't have put a killing thrust into Guts either.
Yeah, no.
I think he would have said the same thing. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But he was never going to get to the gotcha moment.
Never.
Not a chance.
No.
Not a chance.
I think he knew that. deep down.
Oh, yeah. But he had to do it. It was like a proving ground for him. I'm going to take on the greatest swordsman in the world to prove myself to everybody, but probably Farnese in particular. Shyster Boy knows Guts maybe better than anyone.
Yeah.
Because he's been palling around with him forever. He knows all of his idiosyncrasies. He knows all of his foibles. He's been there when he had to travel, 10 paces behind.
Mm-hmm.
He knows Guts very, very well, even though he's a little kid.
And I feel like they're similar. Like, they were both little, what do you call them? Street urchins?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like they had the same upbringing. And so he kind of I feel like he sees beneath the surface on everything.
Uh-huh.
Like, even when he's with Shirike, he's just a little bit more street smart than everyone else. And he understands, like, power dynamics better than everyone else. Like, he just sees beyond the surface level. And I feel like that's something him and Guts both have to understand because of their life is kind of like caring for themselves, like figuring things out, having to be, I guess I wouldn't call Guts like coy or tactical in like a traditional sense, or Serpico either, but they're like street savvy. They know how to survive and they know when someone's posturing versus when they're not, if someone's really dangerous versus if they're not. I feel like they had to pick up on that. So when he sees it, he's like, oh, I know what this is. I've seen it a million times.
Shyster Boy is really sharp that way.
Mm-hmm.
When he was surviving day by day, he knew enough not to beam a person out in the open with a rock to their head. He'd probably throw from behind a wall so you wouldn't even know it was coming from. And then he would steal their sausages.
And he'd probably make it look like the guy next to him is the one who did it. So then they'd start brawling and then he can steal the sausage.
And maybe the wagon they're covering it in. So, yeah. So we, as you know, we have a lot of admiration for our young friend. Because of their age, don't you think in a way, like you just said, he kind of knows when little good witch is going to get herself in trouble.
Yeah.
Because he throws the rock from behind a wall. She goes out there wearing a witch's costume. Don't do that in Midland. They burn witches here, Yeah. Guts would say,
she can wear anything she wants. She's with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shyster Boy has to be a little bit more preemptive.
Shyster Boy called it for sure in the fight. I think towards the end when it was over, Serpico was glad it was over. Like,
yes.
I don't think he was sitting there like, our fight got cut short because of everything that's going on. I feel like he was like, all right, at least I can say that I tried.
Like, remember that line he has where he says, I've got bells ringing in my head. The line he left off was, I've got bells ringing in my head. Thank God I hear something.
Yeah.
I would have been dead otherwise.
Literally.
Yeah. So it really was a great tactical battle between the two. It does beg the question, now what though? Serpico, Sir Lancelot, is on the team for good. I think we can conclude already, even though having not gone further, that Farnese will be coming along for the ride, even though she's off with Sir Joffrey.
Please.
Roderick. Even though she's with them at the party, drinking martinis and that sort of thing, or whatever they served back then.
Probably wine.
Yeah, they had wine for sure.
What I want to add to this is that I'm glad Serpico and Guts' battle wasn't a battle of like, how do I say this? Like a breaking up of the band.
Yes.
I was so worried when they first started talking about them having a battle. I was like, I know this is foreshadowing. I know they're going to have a battle. But I thought it was going to be like, we're out of here, we're done, and they were going to disappear. But I'm kind of glad that it was more of like an internal battle as opposed to like, we're done, we're wiping our slate clean of you, and like, we're out of here. Yeah. I'm glad that it's more of like, it's bringing them closer together than farther apart.
Yeah.
Because it could have been like the end of their band, but instead it's like fortifying their band stronger.
Don't you also feel though regarding Guts and Farnese, he would never let her walk off into a terrible situation. He wouldn't. You wouldn't hear the internal dialogue going on, but he would not allow that. And so...
and he'd do everything to save her if she was in that position.
He absolutely would. He always had respect for her.
I'd agree.
Even when she was lashing him.
Yeah.
Back when she was Fernies.
I don't think he was too afraid of her back then, though.
No,
she was such like a little girl, and she like has her little flog, and she's like sweating, just flogging him.
I'm gonna flog you.
Yeah.
And she's the one like in distress doing it, and he's like,
and then she's flogging
"Are you
herself.
good?" It's like,
Yeah.
are you a good girl?
She's come a long way. She would no longer flog herself.
Yeah, no. But I think she does still have that internal dialogue of like, she doesn't like trust herself. She doesn't really like love herself. She doesn't think she's like worthy of anything.
Yeah.
I feel like she still kind of has that, like, she's very hard on herself, but I feel like she's hard on herself in like a self-deprecating way, where Serpico is just more like constructive criticism way of herself, but Farnese is more of like a deep hatred.
But I see it a little bit protective on the part of Farnese. Here's why. If she thought she was all that, and they presented to her Sir Joffrey, she would have said, well, of course, we're a perfect match. Look who I am.
Yeah.
Look who he is. And that would have been a disaster. I don't know who the perfect match is for Farnese yet, but I don't see it as Sir Joffrey.
Really?
No, I really don't. Unless Sir Joffrey changes. Because what I know of Sir Joffrey right now is he's just kind of an arrogant prig. Yeah. Of course she's fine for me. She'll do, little brother.
Oh my gosh, you know who it reminds me of?
Who?
What was that movie with Audrey Hepburn that you made me watch? It was really good. And she was with that older guy.
Oh,
and he was
yes.
teaching her how to talk.
My Fair Lady.
Yeah, My Fair Lady. It reminds me of that guy. Where he was just like so pretentious and was like, I do not need you.
So good.
She was like trying to prove her self-worth to him. And he had that same like vernacular.
What was his line in the song that he talked his way through? I've grown accustomed to her face.
I feel like that will be Roderick.
We could do a whole segment on
Same.
Audrey Hepburn,
Oh yeah.
the most beautiful actress who ever lived.
Remember, she's Flora
Yes, that's right.
in our live action.
Deservedly so.
Mm-hmm.
Flora was really something. Anyway, how did we get on that topic? So, you know from this, if this was all that was contained within this little battle scene, you know what's coming is going to be grand. I can hardly wait to get there. To get there, I must close this video right now by saying goodbye. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share with a friend, and most especially, we got to hear your comments on this. This was a very big little event. Let's hear from you. Goodbye.